Welcome to Babbling Buffoons. All babbling, all buffoonery. I'm Alex.
I'm Billy.
I'm Jack. How's it going, guys? Cold one out there today.
Bro, I don't even want to start with the cold.
I can't stand it right now. Like the snow and the cold all together. I wasn't even sure if it was flurries or if it was just something else.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even know it was snow until you guys got here, and I looked outside. I was just watching some Netflix and relaxing, but no, we're gonna try something different today. We got two cameras on. Try to do a split screen kind of thing, or where it bounces back and forth. Whatever we can do, I guess. But we're only gonna try one video. I think we'll go back to the one setup here in a little bit. But yeah, today, guys, we're just gonna dive in and just talk about certain things, and I'm actually gonna let you guys take the floor with it and see where it goes.
Oh, man.
So yeah, you and Billy, man, let's see what happens, and I'll just chime in whenever I can.
All right, that's fine. Well, I want to talk to you, Billy, about video games. But what I want to talk about isn't consoles. I want to talk about actual, series and whatnot. Because it's hard nowadays to find anyone who actually still plays a series, you know what I'm saying, or sticks with one.
I mean, yeah, of course.
I mean, I don't count GTA people because it's GTA or COD. Like, those to me aren't, even though they're a series and stuff, they're mainly multiplayer online things and whatnot. To me, a series would be like, one that's like Die Hard to me would be Resident Evil. That is a series. That game's been out since, I think, like the 90s, and then, still coming out with stuff and whatnot. Like Dead Space is another good one for me. Even though some of these are horror-based ones, there are other good series out there. Like, what do you got? Like, I know you got to have one, right?
I mean, most of my favorite ones I've had is like Dot Hack was like a good starter kind of, but I mean, even though it didn't have like a full-blown continuation like Resident Evil, but I mean, they still had, some good stuff about the gameplay and all that when the story base was actually pretty dang good.
Now, what is Dot Hack? I actually don't know that. I'm going to be straight honest. I really don't know what Dot Hack is.
So, Dot Hack mainly is about an online game. The story is retelling about, this is way before actually knowing anything about the online gameplay at all in general. With the face masks and stuff that they used to be able to go online and play and stuff like that. You've seen Sword Art online,
Yeah.
for example. It's kind of like that.
Huh.
In a sense. So like a virtual reality game is what it was, and practically the story base was about a character that is a twin blade user. And
Sounds already like Sword Art.
yes. And it was actually from what I read it was a female player that was the main character. And she was on a mission to try and save one of her friends because she was in a comatose state from the virtual game. And
This really sounds like the setup for Sword Art before Sword Art.
it was. It was. And what happened is that there was these I forget how many there was, but there's 6 beings that were viruses in the game that were causing havoc and bring about all kinds of destruction. But one major one that was actually the real culprit named Kubia.
I always love names in games like that. Kubia.
Yeah.
I mean, they come up with some interesting names when you hear them. You just some of them you just laugh at. You're like, that's funny. Then other ones you hear, you're like, that sounds dope as hell.
Well, the names of the other viruses was the main one, which was my very first favorite one, Skaith.
See, that sounds dope right there.
Yeah, Skaith, the Terror of Death.
Exactly my point. You know what I'm saying? You hear that. You don't even care if the boss is going to beat the crap out of you. You're just like, bro, that name is so awesome. I don't even care if I lose right now. I just got introduced to a badass.
I don't even know how people think of these names, and when they start, you start a game, and like you said, you see a boss, you come to your first boss, you see the name. How'd you even come up with that? What mindset were you in? You had to. I'm not trying to lie. I'm not trying to call anybody out. You got to be high as fuck.
Well, not
Oops.
even necessarily that, but a lot of people have just really, really good imaginations. Like, look at Warhammer 40K. That's been around for a very long time. Its universe is, it's massive. And the amount of names, races, things that, that's what I'm saying. Like, and what amazes me is just the constant creativity of people being able to come up with these different names and things and whatnot. You know? Because, I mean, look at Lord of the Rings, for example, on a quick side note. Whole new language was made by those books and whatnot and stuff and everything, and yet, you know, people speak it and use it and whatnot and use some of those names. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't always have to be, you know, high to come up with some awesome names. You can just have a really, really good imagination. Then the only thing I wonder is,
Well, that's where the creativity is at right now, right? So,
do they fact check the names to see if someone else has used it? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Could you imagine that if someone's like, Ivan the Destroyer? That sounds cool. Let me check, see if someone's used that already. Be like, I don't want them to think I took that name. But my bad. Go ahead with what you were saying.
So the other viruses' names was Enos, Magus, and I know. It sounds tough. Those were actually the real names of
You
those
see what I'm
bosses.
saying? First name,
Yes.
badass. Second name, makes you laugh. That's why I'm like, sometimes with these games and the names, you're just like, yeah. Then other times you're like, why?
I don't know.
And then, I forgot the last one. There was another one that was also a boss, too, but that one was before Cubia came in, so.
Okay.
Now, what system was this on?
You have to ask him. I've not
What was this on,
played.
PC?
No, this was on PlayStation 2 when it first came out.
See,
Oh,
I've
I think
never-
I was done with PlayStation when PlayStation 2 came out. I think I kind of took a break and played Sega and shit.
Not me. I had PS2 for a minute, had a GameCube, and then when I got my Xbox, that's all she wrote. But yeah, I didn't even know that game existed for the PS2, because for me, my PS2 gaming series, which I miss, and I know they've remade it for the PS4, but I wish they'd bring them back for the Xbox, was Jak and Daxter. I had all three of those, played all those fantastic games. Ratchet and Clank, another great trilogy game series. God of War, which I know they've come out with newer ones and stuff, but the original trilogy was so good. So good. There's so many other good PS2 games that had good trilogies and sets to them and whatnot, but I'll tell you, one of my other favorite ones that I think about it, Gears of War.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yes.
Hated it at first, loved it at second, you know.
I mean, I loved it
I
from
fell
the
in love with it
beginning.
afterwards.
It just took me a minute to adapt to it, because I remember when I first started playing it, it was back in the time when Modern Warfare 2 were also, I think, out, or before it, but I was still playing a lot of COD, and my buddy at the time told me, he's like, hey, this game isn't like the other shooters. Like, you can't just run out there and shoot, even on easy mode. Like, you have to use cover in this game. I'm like, bro, no, they always tell you that. You don't need that. No, he was right. The very, very first fight I got into, I just ran straight out there, and within, like, a minute, even on, like, casual mode, I got downed. I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, told you. You have to use cover, even in easy. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And, dude, then, yeah, when you start playing it, then, like, especially when you got the sniper rifle and you got the headshot and you heard the head explode, like, for the first time, you were like, and then the second one came out, you were like, yes. Then when that third one dropped and you could have 4-player co-op, that was...
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
That
Only
has,
because they brought more people into letting you play and everything.
But dude, just some of the 4-player co-op stuff was fucking hilarious. Even on, like, the hardest difficulty, when people be like, all right, guys, we're going to go in nice and slow. Be like one of those moments you see in videos a few moments later. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Oh my god, I'm down. I got you. Oh, I'm dead. Well, damn it, this is the 13th time. Oh man. What about what other game series did you get besides that one you mentioned?
Honestly, all the other ones, I'd never really got to play any of the other ones back in the day, except for .hack, because like that was the only one that I was actually quite interested in, honestly.
Now, here's a question: how many games, in your opinion, does it take for you know, say a game title to be considered a series or something like that? Does it have to be a minimum of 3? You think, like a trilogy, to be considered a series, or as long as it has like 2 games or more, it's considered a series?
I can't call it a series at 2 games. I would call a series 3 games to more for a series.
So at least would need to have a trilogy to be able to be considered a series. Even if, say, that's all they made was just those 3 games, you would call that a series?
Yeah, because you're going to call, 2 of them basically a sequel, just like you do in movies, in my opinion. Series, 3 to more, as long as they're not a remake or a remastered edition. I'm not going to count that as part of a series because it's the same game, just redone.
Technically, there is a difference, actually, between a remake and a remaster. A remaster just enhances graphics, fixes some controllers and stuff. A remake takes the core concept of what the game was and then makes alternate changes. So it technically is a different game in and of itself. I will argue that. Because if you look at it, you have the original trilogy of Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. Then you have the remakes as well that have come out and stuff like that. Especially even technically go beyond that. You have 1, 2, 3, and 4. The originals. They have remakes of those, but they're technically also, even though they're part of the series, they're their own set as well. That's why I was saying to me, there is a difference in whatnot.
All right, so let me ask you guys a question. We're gonna. I had something pop in my mind. I want to ask you, and it's gonna be you guys to debate it, but I want you guys to give myself and the audience what brought you from your first system to maybe a competitor system. So vice versa, if you were on PC at first, what brought you to a PlayStation or Xbox, or a Switch, or if you were on a Switch, what brought you to the other platforms? What game did it and kept you there?
Well,
or did you even stay? Let me add it that way. Or did you even stay on that system?
Well, for me, I grew up playing a bunch of different consoles, so I didn't fully stay acclimated to one until PlayStation at first, because that's where a lot of the game series and stuff I was playing. But what shifted me to Xbox was, one, I got it as a birthday gift from my grandparents when I was a kid, and when I got it, it came with 4 controllers and it came with a bunch of games. It had the first 2 Halos. I had Fable: The Lost Chapters, Time Splinter 2, which in my opinion is still one of the funniest games I've gotten to play. And
but
stuff.
were those the games that made you want to go to an Xbox from a PlayStation?
It was,
other than just console, purely, don't worry about the console, but was there a game that decided why you wanted to go to those different consoles?
It really was mainly the graphics and the gameplay to me felt better on Xbox when I had
So
started
it wasn't
to
a
play
game?
it. Not at first, it wasn't a game. It wasn't until because some of the games on Xbox you could still play on PlayStation and stuff, but it was just, to me, playing the Xbox felt smoother, felt better to me. The graphics were better, the gameplay was better, and on top of that, I could store music on there. Like, I could take all of my CDs and literally download them to my Xbox, play music while playing a game. Couldn't do that on a PlayStation. My Xbox had internal memory, beyond and stuff. So, it was actually, like I said, the gameplay and the console itself is what drew me to that, and I've just stayed with it, because then when the 360 came out, they introduced achievements and then, online stuff and whatnot. That's what kept me on Xbox and why I've stayed with Xbox since.
I was drawn to the regular Nintendo when I was younger. My mom and dad used to play Mario and all that on it and stuff.
Tetris.
Yeah, and plus they had some of the older, back in the day, Mega Man games. That was for that console too. I played a few of those as well.
So playing that first console, what got you to go to a different console?
I wanted to see what a different console had to offer. Not just in games, but also in also graphics and stuff too. In a sense, what would be the difference between a regular Nintendo versus me playing on a regular original, PlayStation that first came out. And it's it was actually pretty good. And then when they came out with Final Fantasy and stuff, I started checking out those games, and Final Fantasy was actually my very top thing that I used to play back then.
Yeah, I actually dabbled in Final Fantasy as well too. I actually did. I kind of grew out of it after a while though.
Oh, I have. I played 7, beat it, 8, beat it, 9, beat it. My Final Fantasy era consisted of those 7, 8, 9, and 10. I tried 10 too. No. I forgot about that series. The one thing, now here's the one thing I love about that series, on a quick side note, Billy, is with me, people might call like an OCD thing. I'm a person, if I play a game series, I cannot stand or want to start off on the second or third one. If you want to get me to play a series, I need and want to start on the first. I'm not one of those people that can play the second, then go back to the first and be like, oh, let me see what the No, I want to play the first on through all the way for story, context, stuff like that. The thing I love with Final Fantasy, you don't need to do that. All of them are different. You can start on 3, jump to 7, go back to 1, go to 10. Like, there is no chronological order with those games, which I love about them and stuff. For me, at least, you know? God. Make me feel old now thinking about all this.
Nostalgic.
Oh, so much nostalgia.
Again,
bro.
you guys want to say you're old. I still remember sitting in my grandpa's house playing an Atari.
I've played
And
Atari
where
with
and where
my own
it's
dad.
and where it's come up to the first Atari, not the Atari 2.
No, my
But the
dad
first
had
Atari.
an original
Yeah,
Atari.
that's how old I feel because I've come from that. Well, actually, I come from playing arcades to playing Atari to playing
Yeah, see, I was.
the new gens now, so to speak.
Everything's new.
And honestly, you know, Xbox and PlayStation, there's not much difference. There's really not. I mean, the controller's smaller for the PlayStation, which fits a lot of hands better. Xbox, the one thing I can say is bad about the Xbox, in my opinion, is that it's blocky and the controller's huge. And a lot of people, that gets them away from there. But like I said, this is not really about consoles, but games. I mean, I'll throw one game out there that I absolutely loved growing up was Alex and me talked about this the other day at work, and it was Super Smash Brothers.
Oh my god, bro! I love Super Smash Brothers on the 64. It got to the point with me on that game to where the last time I actually played it was when I was living at a friend's house. It was him, his cousin, and his girlfriend. When his cousin and his girlfriend would come over, all 4 of us would play Super Smash Brothers. It got to the point to where every time we started to play, all 3 of them would gang up on me to take me out first so they could then fight each other, because beforehand it was always me versus one of them 3 every single time. And they hated that. And they were like, why are you this good? I'm like, because Fox is my boy. You ain't touching him. Dude's too damn quick. They nerfed his speed so bad when the second one came out on the GameCube. I was like, get my boy Fox. Went to play him. I was like that scene from the Godfather. Look what they did to my boy. They killed him. I was so sad. Oh.
Well, I was over at my friend's yesterday for a little bit, and me and him played on his 64 for a little while.
What'd you play?
Mario Party 2.
Nice. Dude, the funny thing is if you grew up playing with the 64 games, it was one of those, you either build friendships or you destroyed friendships. That's that console's reputation. Like, there is no in between. They're like, it was a family console. No, it was not. That thing ruined families. That destroyed some bonds between a father and a son.
Yeah, there was 64 was out when I was in high school, and that actually was some of the best parties I ever went to. They just broke out the 64, and dude, it was
Oh, dude, playing GoldenEye
for us
4-player
4.
GoldenEye. Oh, that was going to friends' houses for sleepovers and stuff and doing that and whatnot. Like, we would try to get creative with the stuff too, because we would set up we would do like a chugging contest game type deal to where each person would stand in front of each other with a golden gun, and the objective was you had to crack a fresh soda, chug it as fast as you can, and then once you finish, you had to set the can down, then you could pick up the controller and shoot the other guy. The first person to do that would win. There's a lot of belly aches a couple of those nights, but that was one of the fun times. But then we always had one rule. No odd job. In the game, odd job was, because every character in the game had a standard height, which is pretty much always the same. Odd job was literally like set down to like this. So if you went to shoot, if he was at a distance, he was kind of like equal in height for you to be able to hit. But when he got close to you, you would have to physically aim down to shoot at him because of how his height was in the game. And people would use that massively to their advantage. Because if you would, to a regular character, you could turn real quick and just normally shoot if they were like right in front of you. With Odd Job, if you turned and did that, the bullets would literally go in over his hat and his head and whatnot. And you would have to physically aim down. But by that time, you're already dead. So that was the number one and only rule we always had. No one could play as Odd Job. But yeah, man, I remember, the 64 had good nostalgia for game series. Thinking about that with the Mario games.
I think the 64 actually set the precedent of where we're at today and how you played multiplayer on that, and now we're playing multiplayer online.
Yeah, I really do think, because a lot of those, because the 64 did actually really, if you think about it, because the original Nintendo, the flip open lid one, only had 2 controller ports, so you could only play 2-player games. 64 was the first console that actually came out that had a built-in 4 controller port thing to actually let you have up to 4 people to play to get more enjoyment out of it, which is a big reason why I think it did so well and sold so well and whatnot. But God, making me talk about gaming, old school, new school. Now, what do you think about gaming series on a quick note today? Do you think that with how some games are and we're running out of ideas, you think there's going to be any good gaming series to come out soon, or you think we're going to be stuck in a remake/remaster?
That's a good question, because right now I think that might be the case, because I haven't seen anything else good coming out.
I mean, like I said, besides my Resident Evil game series that is managed to possibly continuation of storyline, I know eventually they will reach a point to where they're going to be like, what are we going to do? Like, how far can we push these characters? How far can we push this story? Because that's every game series' thing. Like, some want to keep pushing as far as they can. Others want to be like, we want to just reach this, and we're good.
I think something came out along maybe a new Fable.
Now, the thing is they announced that back when the Xbox One was dropped, that we were supposed to be getting a new Fable on the Game Pass. And then it was like, I think either last year, maybe a little bit like before that, they had dropped a trailer showing like a new Fable game was coming out, but we've not heard nothing. And then the last thing that I think I read about was that they were supposedly going to take the original Fable and do a whole remake on it. Not a remaster, a whole remake. So it'll still, like I said, have the core concept of the first Fable, but probably be able to broaden it way out more and stuff like that.
There's a new game. I know we're running close out of time, but there's a new game I'm going to ask you guys. I don't remember I wish I remember the name of it, but what would you think of a game, if it was released, that actually the computer and everything and the game itself remembered everything about your gameplay?
Yeah,
because there's a game coming out.
It's called Neighbors. They already come out.
No. There's a new one coming out, but it's like medieval time, and it's basically like a mixture of Assassin's Creed, I believe, and something along like Bellwright. That you go and it tracks your deeds as a lord, like, and as a warrior. If you do good and you're good to people, it rewards you. If you're bad to people, if you mistreat them, it actually makes it harder for you. And that actually affects you when you have to go into battle, too. I can't remember the name of the game. There was something along the lines of that, but I know we could talk games forever.
Yeah, I mean,
especially you two. You guys love it, between PC all the way up to Xbox and PlayStation 5. But, yeah, guys, we just wanted to try something different today. Like I said, with multiple cameras to see if it works. But if you guys liked it, let us know in the comments. Remember to subscribe and like the video. Help us get it out there. I think we hit 19 subscribers the other day, so
nice. We're slowly getting up
decent.
there.
Yeah.
Also, too, in the comments, if you have a game series and whatnot that you want to tell us and stuff that we might have missed, or as a recommendation, because we're always down to try new things and whatnot, so, I'm game for it, because there's a lot of stuff out there I've not played that, is good. So.
Billy, how about you hit the outro, man?
Oh, you want me to go ahead and set up the ending?
Yeah, go for it. Let's see what you got.
Insane?
We got to have a little fun.
That's my job. I have 2 main jobs in this thing. An intro, 3. Let me rephrase this. Intro, talking, outro.
Okay, I was going to say, if you missed the...
This has been Babbling Buffoons. All babbling, all buffoonery.